It was November 2022. It's another night as I walked back to my tent. I was tired, ready to just lie down and sleep, when suddenly I heard it. A faint, desperate meow. I stopped, looked around, and there he was. This little orange kitten popped out from under a car at a used car dealership. He just ran up to me like he knew me, like he was waiting for me. I started petting him because, who wouldn't? But I live in a tent, I couldn't take care of him, so I got up, ready to leave him behind. But when I turned around, there he was, following right behind me. When it came time to cross the road, I couldn't just leave him. What if he tried to follow and got hurt? So I picked him up, looked at him, and said, "Well, I guess you're coming home with me." That night, I brought him back to the tent, gave him some food and water, and as he ate, I just looked at him, wondering what to call him. Then it hit me, Nugz. It just felt right, and that's when Nugz adopted me as his human. At the start of the next year, things got tough. Nugz started disappearing for days at a time, 4 or 5 days, and every time he came back, he was covered in cuts and scratches from fights. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't lock him up, that's just not who Nugz is. But then one day, he got hurt really bad. He had a severe bite on his front right paw, and it got infected fast. I panicked. I called every vet I could find until one said they could see him that day. But with no car, I had no choice. I bundled up into my backpack and started walking. I thought it'd take an hour on foot, but then an angel appeared. A lady stopped and offered us a ride. She didn't just drop us off at the vet, she waited. The vet treated Nugz thanks to their angel fund, and it didn't cost me a thing. I was so relieved. And that woman, she was still there, waiting to take us back. She even bought us food and supplies for Nugz. If you're watching this, thank you from the bottom of my heart. As spring rolled around, Nugz kept getting hurt, and I started feeling like I couldn't keep him safe. I didn't want to, but I posted on Facebook looking for a new home for him. And then the unexpected happened. People didn't want me to give up Nugz. They wanted to help me keep him. It was overwhelming, all of these strangers offering support. One lady even arranged for Nugz to get neutered for free. Ever since then, Nugz has been safer. No more wounds, no more fights. I finally felt like I could protect him. Earlier this year, I moved my tent closer to work. It seemed like a good spot, right next to the railroad tracks, hidden away. Nugz was cautious. He'd never been here before, but then the train started coming through, and the noise, the horns, it terrified him. I tried to hold him when the trains came by to calm him down, but while I was at work on Monday, Nugz took off. When I got home, he wasn't there. I tried not to panic, hoping he'd come back. Then Tuesday came. While I was at work, security told me I had to move. They found me out. I felt everything at once, anger, sadness, fear. I couldn't finish my shift. I had to move again. That night, I packed up everything at midnight and made trip after trip on my bike back to my old spot. But Nugz didn't come back. Days went by, I searched everywhere, posted on Facebook, made flyers, but nothing. After a week and a half, I had just about given up hope. Then one night, I was sitting in my tent after work and I heard it, a meow. I thought I was dreaming, but there he was. Nugz had found his way back home. I was so happy, I just broke down crying. My best friend was home. But then, not long after that, I had the biggest scare of my life. It was 1:30 in the morning, I had just gotten off work, and as I unzipped the tent and turned on the light, my heart stopped. My chair was flipped over and there was blood. Blood everywhere, but no Nugz. No animal, no sign of what happened, just blood. I freaked out. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Where was Nugz? Was he hurt? Was he even alive? I barely slept that night, just wandering around calling for him. The next day I went to work, my mind was racing. All I could think about was Nugz. Where was he? Finally, Friday came. I got some sleep, and when I woke up, I just sat there, trying to distract myself, and then I heard it. That meow. At first, I thought I was dreaming, but then it did it again. I jumped up, opened the tent, and there he was, Nugz, safe and sound. I hugged him like never before. I was so happy I had a panic attack. But when I calmed down, I checked him over. No cuts, no wounds, nothing. To this day, I have no idea what that blood was from, but it wasn't Nugz, and that's all that mattered. After that scare, I knew I had to do more to keep him safe. I took him to the vet, got him chipped, and started looking for a tracker. I found one from Tractive, and it was the best decision I've ever made. For $212, I got 2 years of service, live tracking, tracking history, and even insurance if the device gets lost or broken. Now when I'm at work, I can open the app and see exactly where Nugz is, and if he's near an unsafe area, I can start live tracking him, making sure he keeps moving. It gives me so much peace of mind. We've been through a lot, Nugz and I, but we're survivors. Nugz is my best friend, and I'm so glad he chose me as his human. We've been through a lot, Nugz and I, but we're survivors. Nugz is my best friend, and I'm so glad he chose me as his human. We just recently moved into our new place, a real home. It's the first time Nugz has ever been indoors. He's been getting used to it. I'm really looking forward to being able to give him a chance to go outside with his tracker so that way he can have his adventures. We deserve to live better, and this is the next chapter in our lives, a chapter where we're not homeless.